We start with continuing coverage. After 20 years, the Nori Jones case has a resolution. Today, a jury found Brad Compher guilty of first-degree murder in Nori Jones's death. KPVI News at Works For You journalist Misty England has been following the case from the beginning. She has the details on today's verdict.
Guilty. That was the jury's decision after about 4 hours of deliberation on Monday and following 2 weeks of witness testimony and evidence presented during trial. Monday morning, the prosecution and defense had one last chance to convince the jury. The state telling the jury to consider the whole picture and not overthink it. Prosecutor Jonathan Radford reiterated the state's key evidence: DNA on Nori's ring and her body, and Compher's fingerprints on her door to her house and her window. Gary Proctor with the defense team argued law enforcement and authorities potentially contaminated the crime scene and evidence. They also once again pointed the potential blame toward Robert Spillett, asking the jury to keep in mind if there was any question about Spillett's guilt, there should also be doubt about Compher's. Ultimately, the jury decided the state proved its case and rendered a guilty verdict. While his defense attorneys comforted Compher, friends and family of Nori crying and hugging. Too emotional to go on camera, but several telling KPVI they're relieved to have some closure after 20 years. And they're not the only ones. The prosecution happy with the verdict that's taken a decade to get.
I want to thank the community for their support during this long case. It's been pending for over 10 years. I really want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, the people in my office, John Radford, Janice Price, and Brian Trammell, who tried this case. We're pleased with the outcome, and we'll have more comments to make down the road.
While Brad Compher heads back to prison, friends of Nori say they want her to be remembered for who she was, smiling, laughing. Her loved ones say this is the Nori Jones in their memories. Reporting in Bannock County, Misty England, KPVI News that works for you.
Compher's sentencing is set for April 30th. The death penalty was taken off the table in 2022, so the maximum penalty he could face is life in prison.